Hey y'all, welcome back to Fiber Arts Really Terrific with Beyarnsay. Now everyone is always asking me, Beyarnsay, what kind of hobbies do you have outside of fiber arts? Well, are there any odd hobbies outside of fiber arts? Well, let's see. I enjoy working out and walks here in the piney woods, and I don't know if y'all remember, but I was the 1988 grand champion of the state lumberjack wrestling in the women's division. But that was years before I went to jail over that public access cable TV scandal. Now, some of y'all have been asking, what was the trouble with that cable TV company? Well, long-time watchers know what happened live on the air, but for new watchers, I'll tell you that I can't go into the details because of the lawsuit. But I can say we was recording an episode of Beyarnsay's World at the petting zoo, and they think someone spiked the goat's water with bath salts, and one of the goats that started, I can't even talk about it anymore other than to just say it was awful. And that petting zoo we was at had to close because at the end of the day, that drugged goat was the only live animal that was left. Anyway, they sued the cable company and us, and now Earl had to go back to truck driving. We all think this is because our nephew Leeboy was there helping out that day. We think Leeboy did it because he always does stuff like that. You know, one time Leeboy went to the dog park in Conroe, and he stole a bunch of dog stuff from the park and then made a poop bomb that went off right as his class was in the middle of recess. The police came and everything and took him out of his elementary school in handcuffs. You'd think that sounded mean, but Leeboy was 27 at the time. But back to that cable show, I know most of the cut and shoot ladies auxiliary and the pastor and my sister-in-law's uncles, cousins, former dog owner all watched the show, and I miss our times together, so I was hoping to bring some of those old times back here. I remember we had a knit-along one time, and the winner of the drawing got to go with Earl on one of his pontoon boats he puts together when it floods. He calls it a pontoon boat, but it's really 2 wood pallets nailed together with empty oil barrels underneath. Then a couple months ago, we had the parade through Cut and Shoot. It was just the one float, though. Then we got pulled over on 105 just past Willis Waukegan. Apparently, law enforcement frowns on personal parades. On second thought, maybe we need to create new memories. Now, for what I'm wearing the Boneyard shawl by the oh-so-magical Stephen West. There's not much to say about this one other than it's so wonderful. I found some skeins of gradient yarn at the bottom of a barrel at the good old Goodwill. I get lots of compliments on this one. At first glance, it looks so simple, but it's got these fancy ridges everyone seems to like. My hairdresser, Doris, asked me to make one for her a couple years back. It's still half finished. Now let's talk about knit-alongs. The last time we had any kind of knit-along, we did it back in the cable days. We got a lot of complaints, though, because apparently not everyone likes to make a blanket that says, I love Beyarnsay. Apparently some of y'all didn't want a nice, warm, comfy blanket with my name on it, but I decided I was going to do someone else's knit-along this time, so my work in progress is the Metropolis Cow by Tannis Fiber Arts. I'm actually doing this along with my fellow podcaster, Willy Nilly Knits, and I'm using Lion brand boogie nights. I'm going to fade it with a plain black bulky yarn because I'm not going to have quite enough boogie nights, but to tell you the truth, I haven't had enough boogie nights since I turned 40, y'all. It's time for Beyarnsay's mailbag, where I respond to your burning questions. My first question is from needmoreyarn@hotmail.com. Needmoreyarn says, thank you for this episode, Beyarnsay. What do you think you'll make next? What a great question. I'm already talking about it, but I was thinking maybe some socks or some underwear. The nice thing about knitting your own thongs is they don't take too much yarn to make. Okay, next one. This one is from slovins@gmail.com. It says, hey, Beyarnsay, can you please send me a few photos of you knitting? Well, I heard there were some people who really liked my work, but really thought that I didn't do it myself, and that rumor It goes back a few years. Listen, y'all, Beyarnsay don't use ghost knitters. Now, there's been plenty of videos of me knitting, but all of it was seized in the lawsuit. Now, this last one is from myfriendsuck@yahoo.com. My friend Suck wants to know who Earl is. Well, Earl's my husband. We've been together since as far back as I can remember. Earl retired a few years ago, but had to go back to truck driving because of the lawsuit. He does some stand-up comedy, too, to make some extra money so we can pay that damned petting zoo. My completed work is the Liliana blanket by Hooked on Sunshine. It was made out of Lion Brand mandala yarn in the colorway Fairy. I alternated 2 cakes at a time and pulled 1 strand from the inside of the cake and 1 strand from the outside, y'all. Well, thank y'all for joining me for another episode of Fiber Arts Really Terrific with Beyarnsay. Please visit my Talk Tick and Faceplate. Also, Insta-Thing and Ravelry. New videos will be coming out often. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave comments. I will read them just like I did this time. And remember, the queen of all yarndom loves you. May you never drop a stitch. And may your yarn never barf. Bye-bye!